Alright, good morning Year 8s. Today we're going to look at circle relationships, and I'm very jealous not to be with you today because you get to discover one of the most famous numbers in mathematics. And what's more, you get to discover this number using your shoelaces. Now, it'll be quite an action-packed lesson, so we'll need to move along quickly. First of all, a couple of notes to get some terminology down so we all know what we're talking about. Can you please take out your notebooks very quickly and write circle relationships as our title, and then copy down 3 circles underneath. Once again, if I move too quickly, you'll need to ask the relief teacher to pause me so you guys can catch up with the notes. Alright, so yesterday we looked at perimeter, and perimeter was the distance around the edge of a shape. So imagine a little man walking around all the lines. It's the total distance he covers. Now in circles, our perimeter is given a special name. It's called the circumference. Alright, and it is the entire distance around the edge of the circle is the circumference. Now, 2 other words we'll be using a lot today, and people still get these confused in Year 11 and 10. These words are the diameter and the radius. Now, diameter is a line which goes from one edge of the circle through the middle to the other edge. We call it diameter. We call it the diameter. Alright, our other key word for today is the radius. The radius goes from one edge of a circle sorry, having some technical difficulties. The radius goes from one end of the circle, any point on the circle. It could be up here, around here, around here, and the other end is at the middle. This distance is called the radius. Now note, if you have a line that goes from one edge of the circle to another, and then you have a line that goes from the middle to the edge, we can say that the diameter is 2 times the radius. Alright, now circumference, diameter, radius are 3 words we're going to use a lot today, so I hope you're all comfortable with them. Can you please draw up a table in your books that has those titles and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows underneath it, labelled A, B, C, D, E, F. This will take you a minute, so please restart this when you're done, because I'm going to move on quickly now. Alright, today, in a second, you're going to open your textbooks to find a page with lots and lots of different circles on it, and the circles will be labelled A, B, C, D, E, F. Now you can help your partner doing measurements on the desks you're with, but for each circle you're going to measure its radius, its diameter, and then its circumference. So, for example, on our circle below, pretend I've measured that all the way across, is called the diameter, and it's 8 centimetres. Here I would write 8. Here you would write 8. And since we know that the radius is half the diameter, we could simply write 4 there. Now, the circumference is a little harder to measure, but here's where your shoelaces come in handy. You can unthread one of your shoelaces, find another piece of string or something similar, and you take your shoelace that is long and wiggly and lay it around the edge of the circle. Okay? Now mark a point with your fingers where it cuts off, and then you're going to stretch that shoelace out to be one long length. Using a ruler, you'll then measure that length from there to there. Now it won't be beautifully accurate, but with my circle, let's pretend I achieved this with my shoelace, and I could find out that the length or circumference was approximately 25 centimeters. Okay. Then what you do is, for this column here, you do the circumference C divided by the diameter. So I would do my circumference of 25 divided by my diameter of 8. Now 25 divided by 8 is about 3.12. Similarly, I could do my radius and circumference. So circumference divided by radius is 25 divided by 4, about 6.25. Now, what you're going to do is do this for each of the 6 circles. And hopefully you should start noticing patterns in these 2 columns. This one is especially important. This one here. We'll come to that later. But for now, I'd like you to go to page 262, and on it there you will see all the circles. If you follow the instructions for questions 1 through to 7, it essentially explains how you need to fill in the table above, up here, and then asks you a few questions based on the information you should have got from that table. And that's what I'd like you to work through for the rest of today's lesson and for homework tonight. Enjoy.